Bob the printer does his own thing again, but still he lives. Another part of the ongoing reprographic saga. Well, it's been eventful these last couple of months. Ofsted didn't fail us, and Mick remains suspended. I gave my care and feeding of MFP's speech to a couple of hundred grudging faculty. We're looking around for new printers for when our contract's up in October. All we have to do is keep Bob going till then. Unfortunately, he must know that, because he's not making things easy for us. It started, typically with a minor fault with the inbuilt stapler this afternoon. It was kicking sheets out of alignment. All it needs is an engineer to perform a quick alignment, so we ring the non-emergency service number. Engineer comes out Thursday afternoon, adjusts the spindle assembly, and job done. Bob works all day Friday fine, and I shut up the office for the weekend with no inkling that the following Monday was gonna suck any more than usual. I arrive on Monday morning to find my boss swearing a blue streak at Bob, who is conspicuously broken, judging by the red service light on the upper section. Any job being sent through Bob causes his user interface, where we manually set the job up, to freeze. Then Bob crashes with an error code none of us have seen before and doesn't appear in his tech guide. This warrants a service call, who once they're convinced this is a new issue, tell us this is a critical error and not to use the machine. Since Bob isn't usable anyway, we attempt to shut him down. One of the less user-friendly features about Bob is that doing so is software-based, rather than a hard switch. Trying to shut him down causes only a crash restart. The actual power button will not switch a machine off, only a powered down machine on. But holding it down mid-crash at least makes it go to sleep. Bob will not switch off if he has a red service light. And so it's business as usual till that afternoon, until an engineer from the MFP team comes for a gossip. He's not qualified to work on a high-performance diva like Bob, so we don't ask, but mid-cuppa he comments on what a pos Bob's model of printer is. To be honest, no one has a nice word to say about him. I guess we hurt Bob's feelings because he starts smelling properly hot. Engineer switches him off at the plug, and all is done to make sure that if it goes then it won't take us with it by moving toner canisters and paper boxes away. Some paper we use requires prepping by storing it next to the machine for 24 hours, Lord knows why. On Tuesday morning the high-performance engineer comes. He's never seen the error message before, runs some diagnostics and fiddles a bit. Nothing happens. He then announces that Bob is dead. I grieved. I really did. Especially because we're getting into exam season, some more diagnostics, and it's eventually worked out that it's only Bob's finisher that is dead. His external paper module and print drum appear to still have some function. Naturally this has to be tested, so Bob's finisher unit is taken off and wheeled away to be dealt with in a moment. For reference, this unit alone is about 2 feet long, 4 feet high, and 2 feet wide. This leaves us with the paper module and the processing unit with a gaping hole where paper would normally travel through to the finisher. After cherry-picking a job that has no finishing but a decent number of pages, we set it up. Muggins here, myself, has to crouch in front of the hole ready to catch the sheets as they come out. The author would like to inform you that this is a stupid idea. 1. The sheets were very hot, 2. The engineer admitted this wasn't health and safety friendly, and 3. The paper came out fast and went everywhere. Experiment over, he went back to knocking the finisher about. Fuses were replaced, the assemblies taken to bits, a lightly burnt board replaced. Nothing worked. Because of what HSE would say about a gaping hole in moving parts, the finisher is reconnected. But after 7 hours of work, and on the verge of giving up, the reconnected finisher springs to life after the engineer redownloads some firmware. Somehow adjusting that spindle had deleted firmware to 1/3 of the machine. Possibly with the help of the burning board. Engineer departs, calling Bob a finicky piece of work. Big mistake. He now repeatedly jams in the external paper module. We haven't called the engineer out because it's paper and usually our problem. It's generally a stacking error. Some paper really does need to be stacked the right, shiny, way up, or isn't prepped, or hasn't been fanned properly to remove excess dust or glue. Or the wrong paper is used, cheapo 75 GSM rubbish. You get the picture. Basically I'm finishing the day covered in white powder and toner scratched to hell by being shoulder deep to unjam him, but Bob's still misbehaving, just not enough for my boss to authorize a call out. He almost died this time, but we've still got till October to see what he throws at us this time. Story 2. Congratulations on stumbling across what I've been trying to communicate this entire call. I am an evening dispatcher for a smaller town water department, and part of my duties include catching calls after several other city departments have closed for the day, meaning, I get to tell several people per day that I can't do what they want and for them to try back tomorrow when the department is open. The city itself has ruled I'm not even allowed to help if personal info is involved, especially finances. I do get questions for those departments that I can actually answer, most of the time, what time they open, trash pickup schedules, late return library fees, etc. The main reason my job exists is to field emergency calls, like reports of water coming out of the road, or sending an on-call crew to zip over and turn off someone's water at the meter if they have an uncontrolled leak inside which is causing damage, coordinate crews out in the field with where they need to go, log when they arrived where, and state-related reporting. However, a few callers interpret emergency as I need to take a shower because I'm stinky from work and I have a date, to which call tomorrow when their open type responses will simply not do and will try to argue the motive behind a rule I didn't come up with. Getting your water turned back on due to payment processed is finance related and disallowed for me. I've been talking with my supervisor about this. Together we've crafted a kind of script of how to handle the super special people who just won't accept that I can't help them. One idea of mine was to perfect a very stern enunciation of correct, to answer the zinger they often try to throw out. So you're saying this dumpster smelling up my alley can't be picked up today? To encompass a tone implying, congratulations on somehow stumbling across the entire point of every answer I've given you this whole call. My supervisor, who often tells me about what she saw on Judge Judy recently, if that tells you anything about her, will sometimes even greet me in passing or at the door of the dispatch office and with a mock crying, so you won't help me today. That I can practice it on. Not yelling, just a stern enunciation is the best way I can describe it, laced with a bingo, Sherlock backspin. I finally got to use it yesterday, and the conversation went a little like this. Responses are a little wordier than what I'd normally say, in order to obfuscate certain details, etc. Keep in mind that easily 98% of calls don't go any deeper than 1 to 2 responses, because they actually let me explain. It's just that this one would simply not accept rejection and kept interrupting. Hi, I just got home, saw the water had been turned off, and paid my bill online. When will you be out today to turn it back on? Me, it won't be turned on today if you paid it after 5 p.m. The department which handles those finances is closed and they have to process it first to send out a tech. This is an emergency line for things like interrupts, but my bill is paid. I have the receipt number, and the money shows taken out of my bank. My supervisor walks in, grinning because she can hear I got a wild Karen calling and is entertained by my refusal to get riled up by them. Me, the department who handles bill payments, is closed. They will have to process it tomorrow when they return, 8 to 5. This line is for people who are reporting water coming up out. Interrupts, but I'm speaking to you, now, and you know that it is paid, so you can just send someone out to turn it on now. Me, but I'm telling you the department which handles that, which is not me, is closed, so it will be processed no sooner than 8 a.m. tomorrow. I don't understand why you can't just send someone out to turn it on. Me, we do not handle billing concerns in any way including turn-ons after payment is made. This is an emergency line for people who are reporting pipe breaks in the road, or if interrupts, well this is an emergency. I have children and I need to take a shower before I go to work tomorrow. Me, slightly louder tone, but slower, the department which handles the kind of service you need is only open 8 to 5. But me, you will have to contact them during those hours. Well that's not going to help me today. Me, correct. Stunned silence, papers shuffling, hangs up, Soup, who has been grinning like Michael Jackson eating popcorn hanging on every word, smiling wide and eyes bright, gasp and me, she hung up in stunned silence. Soup, it worked. Me, smiling brightly, yeah. And she set it up so perfectly, she even swore in the last part. She was like, well that's not going help me today. Soup, correct. It's like you almost got to swear at her back. I love it.